what shall I compare the kingdom of God to? It's like leaven that a woman took and hid in 3 measures of flour. When you say 3 measures, that's about 60 pounds of flour. That's a lot. That could feed about 100 people. Those days, communities would live in insulas, families, meaning they're connected to one another. One family unit starts, and then they, as their kids get married, and they just build the community. And so, they would bake bread, and they would feed the community, their clan, their family. Today, we're not so used to baking bread. We just buy in Pan de Manila or your neighborhood bakery. But what Jesus was trying to say here, small amount of yeast, it works itself out through the dough until it permeates the whole dough. A bread that you see, it's just a little tiny yeast that it needs to actually have that. Microscopic yeast. And that's what the scriptures tell us. From the 12 disciples, became 70, and then 120 in the upper room, and then 500. He shows up to the 500, and then it just continued to grow, multiplied over and over again, and exponentially growing. All right? And you see, when the kingdom of God spreads, it's initially small. It starts very small. In your family, in your community, it may be just one person, and then 2, and then 3. And then internally influential. In other words, it starts from the inside. And from what happens on the inside, it now eventually shows up on the outside, and you become a change agent where God has placed you. And that's why you and I, continue to believe God that, Lord, don't just, use us in our homes, use us wherever you've placed us. God's given you platforms. In fact, you're more effective than a pastor like me. When you go to business, when you go to your office place, when you go to the campus. When I go to the campus, they'll think I'm a professor, okay, or a dean, okay. I'm an old guy. But when you, as a young person, go into the campus, they will relate to you. You can connect with them. If you are in the business or in whatever field that you're in, media, showbiz. I quit showbiz a long time ago, okay. So I want to say some more, but wala na lang. Initially small, internally influential, and expansively comprehensive. In other words, little yeast will work itself out into the whole dough. That's the nature of the kingdom. It'll start small. But it's going to grow. You have to see with the eyes of faith. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time.